Well, Cary Grant was one of the world's best-known movie stars with over 70 films to his name. But his rise to fame is a unique story, and it's being told in the new series Archie, starring Jason Isaacs. Take a look.
What's that, Mum?
Mrs. Leach, it's time to go.
Come on, Mum. You don't want to stay here any longer, do you?
Where are you taking me?
To Clifton. Always said you wanted to live there. Remember?
You're Cary Grant.
Not to you, Mum. Just Archie.
And star and executive producer of Archie, Jason, joins me now. Welcome back. Good to see you.
Well, it's lovely to see you too.
I was just
What is upcycling? How is it not recycling?
So
what's going up?
So they
anyway,
took a piece and they made it better. They are upcycling.
Okay, fine. That's like deplaning. It's not a word. Anyway,
it's not a word, but let me tell you this. You are so good in this. You are getting rave reviews for playing Cary Grant. But I heard that you didn't actually want to take this role at first.
Yes, that's right, because who would be an idiot enough to play Cary Grant? No one. He was the sexiest, most desired film star in the world for 30 years. I'm playing Archie Leach. It's called Archie because Cary Grant, when he stepped off the screen, was the very opposite of everything the people at home know him for. He was, you know, if he was unflappable on screen, he was extremely flappable off screen. He was a very damaged individual. He had a terrible childhood. He was so abused and neglected and abandoned completely and starving, literally hungry all the time. That those scars, those open wounds, were made even more open by the love he got from the world. So when he got home and dropped the mask and shut the front door, that's what Archie's about.
So did you know this all about? Did you know about him,
or nothing about him?
You did the research when you were kind of taking on?
That's why I said no. That's why I thought I'm not playing Cary Grant. You think I'm an idiot? Hear the knife sharpening now. But when I read Jeff Pope's script, Jeff Pope is a guy who spent decades bringing real life stories to the screen. Americans will know him from Philomena and Stan and Ollie and stuff, but in Britain he's well known for doing it for many other stories. And I thought, Jeff Pope wrote it. He's not stupid. And I read it, and I just read this heartbreaking tale of this marriage, one of his many marriages that went completely wrong, and about a man in almost continual pain and suffering.
Well, and Diane Cannon and her daughter Jennifer spearheaded this movie. They executive produced along with you. What kind of insight did they give you? Because
well, they did a lot. They were both very brave. They told me an awful lot of things. They didn't make it, so I make it clear that Jeff Pope, when he persuaded them, it took him 10 years to persuade them to let him tell the story, and it was on the understanding that it was going to be his version of what he found the truth to be, because they had different experiences.
Of course.
Jennifer was brought up by a man who adored her and loved her and was a devoted dad. Diane, as a young girl, married a man in his 60s who was Cary Grant until they got married. And then he was Archie Leach, and that was a very different individual who tried to change the way she looked, the way she walked, the way she talked, and stop her working. And in the end, those scars from his childhood played out in such a difficult way for her, she had to walk away. So what did they tell me? Stuff I could never repeat on television. Jennifer told me about a loving dad. Diane told me about what it's like to be inside a marriage where you're being suffocated by your partner.
Oh, that's so terrible. Was it strange to reenact anything from his life in front of them?
They didn't come to the set. Diane would never. I mean, Diane found it very upsetting watching it. You know, Jennifer, I think, was such a brave woman to allow this story to be told about sides of her dad she had never seen. That she, you know, are difficult for her to process. But Diane, these are some of the most painful memories of her life, and it was difficult for her sitting in the screening, holding her hand. It was very difficult for her to watch. But she wants the true story to be told because she can finally get some closure.
Now, as an actor, I have to imagine that you kind of take a little bit of each character you play with you. Do you?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No, I'm no more an evil wizard than I am a global sex icon or any of the other many characters, priests or politicians or drug dealers. My wife and kids wouldn't put up with that nonsense. Of course not.
Well, listen, changing scenes, changing the course a bit, and your next project, you're voicing Brainiac in the new Suicide Squad.
I think I've signed NDAs, and I might have to take you off somewhere and bury you in a ditch for saying that. I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about it.
Are you not allowed to talk about it at all?
Come and take the money back.
Are you a gamer?
I'm not, because I'm such an addict to things like that. I did do Brainiac. It's over the course of a couple of years, hundreds of recordings, and I love that whole universe. I mean, I'm such a comic book fan. When I was a kid, we were going to get fish and chips, very English thing, on a Sunday, and my dad would let me go next door to the newsagents, the candy shop, and there were boxes of all the Marvel and DC comics, and I bought them over the years out of order. So I'd never really understood how they pieced together. So it's such a pleasure for me to be part of this.
Because now you get the whole story. All right, well, you can watch the 4-part series Archie on BritBox now. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
When we come back, he stars in a timely new satire that has critics raving. We'll turn the page on American fiction with John Ortiz coming up next.
You belong singing in our finale.